So I heard you signed a contract. Are you prepared to talk about it at all?
Um, According to Jeremiah, did right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to ask him what's going on there. No, honestly, I think right now we're fully focused on this year and playoffs, and I'd prefer to kind of have the full team focus on that. And by no means do I want to be a distraction with whatever's going on in my future. And so we'll cross that line when we're done with our playoffs. Hopefully not for another month.
Speaking of focus, just the importance, on a one-off game, just from 0 to 90 plus whatever it is.
Yeah. I kind of preferred. I kind of missed that in the 3-game series. Obviously, on the last one, it kind of almost turned into that, right? And I think it's there's just some there's some electricity. There's some you feel it, that people know that like just everything is heightened. Like there's no room for error. The margins are so tiny, and so it's almost like everybody's walking on needles in the beginning, trying to find the way into the game. You want to create things, but you don't want to create something for the opponent. So I enjoy that. I like that because it's a lot of pressure, but it's a meaningful game. You know that everybody knows it's a meaningful game. I'm not saying that the other ones weren't, but it's just heightened that way. And so I'm excited for it. It's a really good opponent we're facing too, and so two good teams going at it should be a good match.
What's the message to your players then in terms of finding that balance about don't play too tentative, but play your best without playing to lose, so to speak?
Yeah, no, I think it starts here right now because for me personally, I've always felt that if you work really hard on the training field, then that gives you confidence on Saturday when you have those butterflies come in, and then whether that is in the locker room or when the referee blows the whistle or when you get your first touch. You have those moments where the butterflies will come in, and you need to have answers to quell those butterflies or to suppress them or turn them into something positive. And I feel like working hard here is always the first step, because you can then be like, nobody worked harder than me. I'm prepared for that. There's no need for this worry on my side. And then do everything you can. We talk playoffs. We talk about the final 2%, 3% as goalkeepers. We always talk about that. What can you do extra? I'm talking about getting proper sleep, proper hydration, proper food, get into the right headspace, and those are all, again, accumulations of things that when those butterflies come, you can stack all those little positives that you did extra, that you focused on, and that will really help you make sure that you can be ready for that moment. Having said that, mistakes will still happen. I've never played a perfect game my whole life. I probably never will. You just try to hopefully those mistakes happen when nothing comes of it for the opponent, but just prepare in the best way you can.
What is, as far as the gap that you had between playing LA and this season, LAFC this season, you had the gap between the first round now. I mean, where are you guys kind of pulling from to prepare for this match on Sunday?
Yeah, a bit of a gap, and it's quite honestly for me, for my liking, it the whole season and the playoffs have dragged on. I'm not a big fan of it, and they've been waiting for a week longer than us on top of that, right? So I don't know if they prefer it or how they feel about it. I think when you find a rhythm, we always talk about find a rhythm and go into the playoffs on a high. You want to be able to kind of take that and take it into the playoffs and then build upon it. It's hard when you have a 2-week or a 3-week break, right? I don't think you can maintain that in training as hard as you can work. It's just not the same thing. So that's difficult, but it is what it is, and both sides have to deal with it. And we'll see who has dealt with it better on the weekend.
Do they look a lot different than they did in the beginning of the season? I mean, none of the players are the same, basically. Well, the players that were available to play are the same. You guys are
No, I think for the most part, obviously, we know that they're very goal dangerous. Boanga is one of the best strikers in the league. Obviously, has bagged a ton of goals this year. and not easy. He hasn't scored. How many goals has he scored? 20 something goals. And they're not all PKs. They're not easy goals. I think he's created a lot of goals. He's earned the respect of a lot of players that had to face him over the year, and me included. I know he's a good player, but then he has other good players around him too. Vela is someone who obviously has great vision and technique to be able to feed a player like that who's willing to run. And I think up top on the sides there, they push very high up. They try to overwhelm the opponent and just be very, very aggressive. It'll be a cat and mouse game, because you want to defend well, bend and not break, and then catch them on a counter, or wherever they leave the spaces exposed. So they're a good side. I think they still tick the same way as they have. They've been true to that under their coach, and so we know what to expect. It's just a matter of being able to do so.
How much film study individually as a keeper do you do for guys like Bouanga that have a lot of tendencies of when they cut inside, they shoot to a certain side of the goal, they shoot a certain way, opposed to when they're on top of the box? Like, how much goes into that from your end?
We look at all tendencies. We look at set pieces, we look at run of play, we look at difference makers, we look at what the guy who's feeding the pass is doing, what he's looking for, what he seems to be looking for, what seems to be almost like a set play in terms of like one guy checking in and then going behind or whatever, or outside, inside runs, things like that. We look at all those things. In terms of what side does a player prefer to shoot, not so much. It's more what kind of positions do they like to get into, because you don't want to. I have to treat every ball and react to however it comes my way. So the moment you think, he likes to go to the left side, you start leaning a tiny bit and you're screwed, right? So you don't really look at that. It's just a matter of, obviously he likes his right foot, he cuts in, and then if you know that early enough, can you make sure you plant those seeds into your defenders' minds, right? Into your right back, into your right center back. Hey, if this guy is wide, keep him on his left foot, keep him wide. If he does cut in, is center back close enough to help provide some cover there? Those are all things that need to be done now, because on the weekend when it's 30, 40,000 people, they're not going to hear me. Hopefully some of those seeds will have blossomed into some things that kind of stick in there, and they know what to expect and what to do about it.
LAFC was very good on set pieces, especially in that game 1 against Vancouver. How much have you guys worked on just being more precise, more effective defensively on set pieces?
I think we've done quite well on set pieces. Having said that, it requires continuous work. You're never gonna just get good at set pieces and then now, okay, check mark, we're good. So we've already looked at some things today. We're gonna keep on looking on some stuff tomorrow as well. But for me, it's putting people in the right positions, and then also kind of trying to make sure that we take pride in our 1v1s. We're zonal for the most part. We have a few that are 1v1s, and those need to be hungry. They need to be determined that this is me against you, and you're not scoring type deal, no matter what. And so, it's about organizing beforehand, not taking the foot off the pedal. As we know with set pieces in particular, corners, that usually comes after a chance that they had missed, or someone makes a save or makes a goal line clearance or whatever. That's usually a time when teams kind of relax because they feel like they dodged a bullet. That's when we really need to focus and make sure that we don't drop, especially in playoffs, because those small moments where you do laps can be costly.
You guys are about to face one of the top attacking teams in the MLS, but you can also argue that you guys are the top defensive team in the MLS. What can you kind of say about that, the matchup?
It should be a good game. I think we've taken great pride in being defensively sound this year. It's given us a good foundation. But I also argue we have some really good guys up top. And so if we can do our job collectively, defensively, I don't want to say in the back because it's everybody, but defensively, and frustrate that offense, I think our guys up top are more than capable of making it very difficult for their defense. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's kind of what you want to see, right? I think as someone who's watching the game, two strong teams in their defense versus offense, and yeah, should be a good match.
With the up top, what has made Albert able, from your perspective, able to score the way that he has, especially as of late?
Well, obviously he's been able to move up to the 10 position. That pushes him higher up. It gives him more. He's more in a place where he can focus more on creativity and offensive efforts rather than worrying about covering and the dynamics with the other 8 or 6, right? So I think he just finds himself in a more offensive-minded position, and it's also obviously closer to the goal. But with his technique too, he's got great technique in terms of ball control, but also his shots second to none on our team, I'd say. He doesn't beat you with pace, but he beats you with disguise and accuracy. It's very frustrating as a goalkeeper, but he's very good at it.
I know you have a lot of players that are versatile and have good attitudes as far as what their role is. But specifically, can you talk to him and his ability to be able to change roles and maybe not be one of those players also that maybe wasn't playing the one role that they wanted to, the position
Albert.
that they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, first, I think I said this a few months ago when I was asked a similar question. I said I have to commend him that since he's come in and he's been asked to play in the 8 or the 6, that he never had any quarrels about it. He never, started moping. He wanted to be on the field, and however coach decided it would be best for the team, that he would try to do his best in that position. I think it's pretty clear that he prefers to be in the 10, but as a DP, for him to have that attitude was great. I think he views himself as part of the team, part of the squad, and he's here to try to make that team better however he can. So his attitude's been great. He's versatile. It's also, I think, right when you move someone a level back, it becomes more. The partnership becomes very important, and that's what we've seen with Josh and Joao. I think doing quite well with that towards the end of our season here. And so, I think when you're in the 10, you're a little bit more isolated as the creative guy, and you have a bit more freedom. But he's done whatever's been asked of him, which is great.
Brian made it really clear that you guys will not
Last
be
one,
underdog
guys.
in this game against LAFC. Yet that's what kind of sometimes surrounds this game against LAFC. As a shadow was the underdog. What's the perfect mentality balance from you guys? Not feeling like an underdog, but understanding the challenge that's ahead with LAFC.
I mean, yeah, it's. I think this whole, like, whether you're an underdog or not, that's more of an outside thing. That's not really going to help you as a player. If you're on the field and someone comes one-on-one against me, if I sit there and be like, oh, I'm the underdog, it's not going to change anything. Or if I'm the favorite, it's true. It's not going to change a thing. So, I just believe that you should look back at the work that we've done as a team this year, and the work that we continue to do right now to be prepared for this moment, and hopefully that's going to be enough. Whether you guys call us underdogs or they, I almost think that there's enough on our plates. I hope the opponent throws more on their plates, so they have to deal with more stuff like these things. I don't see the point. I think it's important to be ready, do what you got to do. For yourself and for your teammates, and then hopefully we can together have a good team, a good performance.